Trump Derangement Syndrome, short for TDS, is a term that emerged during the presidency of Donald Trump, and it refers to an intense and irrational reaction to anything related to the former president. While it's not an official medical diagnosis, the term is used to describe a phenomenon where individuals may experience extreme emotions or show behavior that seems disproportionate to the actual actions or statements of Trump. Donald Trump made the controversial statement about being able to shoot someone and not lose any voters during a campaign rally in Iowa on January 23, 2016. The exact quote is,
"The people, my people, is so smart. And you know what else they say about my people, the Poles? They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible."
The people, my people, are so smart. And you know what else they say about my people, the Poles? They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible. No, they say, Trump, we love you too, man. Trump's voters are by far, you know, I'm at 68, 69%. I'm at 90% total. Like, will you stay? Absolutely. I think it's 68 or 69%. Will you most likely stay? That gets into the 90s. Other guys are like at 10. A guy like Jeb Bush, he has a nobody, but he's like I mean, like, they don't have people. They have nothing. Rubio, soft. They're all soft. All soft. My people stay. By the way, Cruz, soft.
Please note that the statement is metaphorical and not literal. It was meant to emphasize the loyalty of his supporters, not to condone any form of violence. Users who suffer from TDS still talk about this metaphor to this day. Many have not gotten over the fact that Trump never shot anyone to prove this metaphor correctly, and maybe that is why they can't get over it, because it will never happen in reality. Trump will never shoot someone, therefore the TDS users suffer. Early on in the 2016 presidential election, the legacy news media accused Trump of mocking a disabled New York Times reporter. Trump claims he was acting in a goofy and groveling manner in order to express the stupidity of the news media. The legacy news then repeated the lie that he was making fun of a disabled reporter, which is factually false because there's no evidence to this theory. The only evidence from the legacy news media is a physical side-by-side photo of a disabled person with a limp wrist and Trump with a limp wrist. That is the only evidence the news media has, and when someone suffers from TDS, they will automatically believe the least amount of evidence because they simply hate Trump for the sole reason that Trump is Trump.
So tonight on CNN, I'm watching this total novice reporter, and she's talking about Donald Trump made a statement about this and that. And I gave him an article in the Washington Post. You probably all saw it. And by the way, this was right after September 11th. This was September 18th. And right after, sort of an amazing thing, right after a couple of good paragraphs, it's talking about northern New Jersey draws the prober's eye, written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This was 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
So what happened is very simple. I said this, and all of a sudden, because I said it very, very expressively, and again, I'm trying to show somebody groveling to take back the statement he made, because he wanted to take it back because it wasn't good for the people that he knows and likes at the New York Times, the Washington Post, etc. He did this when he was at the Washington Post. So I was very expressive in saying it, and they said I was mocking him. I would never mock a person that has difficulty. I would never do that. I'm telling you, I would never do it. I would never do it. I would never do it. I don't care if I liked the person or didn't, and I don't know this person. So now this person is going around saying, I did know him, that he reported on me in the 1980s, and all of that stuff, right? I don't know him. I really don't know him. I was very expressive in saying it. I don't take that back because the person was groveling in terms, if you read his statements about, well, did you say this and did you write this paragraph? He was really grasping for straw. And I will tell you that it is just such a shame when a disgusting newspaper like the New York Times, when some of the media, like CNN in particular, was just really unfair. When they say things that were so unfair, people that have disability, hi folks, People that have a difficulty, I cherish them. These are incredible people, and I just want to put that to rest. I didn't know him. It's possible, probable that I met him somewhere along the line, but I deal with reporters every day. Many of them I never even see. There are many people that I know even by name, although I don't remember his name, and I do have a great memory, but I will tell you, I don't know him. Now he's going, well, he knew me, and we were on first name. Give me a break. Give me a break.
Weeks before Trump's historic presidential victory in 2016, someone released audio from a 2005 Access Hollywood tape. You can hear Trump bragging to Billy Bush about how his fame allows him to kiss women and sometimes allows him to touch women's pussy. It's still unclear if he meant it literally or if he meant it metaphorically. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You also have to remember that this was back in 2005. This is a time when Jackass, South Park, and The Man Show were the mainstream entertainment at the time. The standards were rather low back then. 2016 was also before the Me Too movement broke out in 2017, long after Trump won the presidency. This is a topic the TDS still talk about to this day, with terms like, grab her by the pussy.
And she used to be very, she's still very beautiful.
I moved on her, actually. You know, she was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and her. She was married.
Huge news there.
No, Nancy.
Yeah.
No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there. And she was married. Then all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony and everything. She's totally changed her look.
She's your girl's hot in the purple.
Whoa!
Yes!
Whoa!
Yes, the Donald has scored!
Whoa!
Oh, my man! Wait, you gotta look at me when you get out of your
Sets this up.
That is very
Will you give me the thumbs
Look
up?
at you. You are a
The thumbs up. You gotta get the thumbs up. Can't be too happy.
Else off first? Yeah, let me.
It's very
You
funny.
gotta give me the thumbs up.
All right, you and I will walk down.
Oh my god.
Maybe it's a different one.
Better not be the publicist. No, it's her. It's
Yeah, that's her, with the gold. I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
whatever you want.
Grab them by the you can do anything.
Look at those legs. All I can see is the legs.
No, it looks good.
Come on, shorty.
Oh, nice legs, huh?
Oof, get out of the way, honey. Oh, that's good legs. Go ahead.
It's always good if you don't fall out of the bus. Like Ford, Gerald Ford, remember?
There's a little down below. Pull the handle.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
Mr. Trump, how
nice
are
seeing
you?
you.
Pleasure to
Terrific.
meet you.
Terrific. You know Billy Bush?
How are you?
Nice to see you. How you doing,
Very
Ariane?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Are you ready to be a soap star?
We're ready. Let's go. I've never said I'm a perfect person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not. I've said and done things I regret, and the words released today on this more than a decade-old video are one of them. Anyone who knows me knows these words don't reflect who I am. I said it, I was wrong, and I apologize. I've traveled the country talking about change for America, but my travels have also changed me. I've spent time with grieving mothers who've lost their children, laid off workers whose jobs have gone to other countries, and people from all walks of life who just want a better future. I have gotten to know the great people of our country, and I've been humbled by the faith they placed in me. I pledge to be a better man tomorrow and will never, ever let you down. Let's be honest, we're living in the real world. This is nothing more than a distraction from the important issues we're facing today. We are losing our jobs, we're less safe than we were 8 years ago, and Washington is totally broken. Hillary Clinton and her kind have run our country into the ground. I've said some foolish things, but there's a big difference between the words and actions of other people. Bill Clinton has actually abused women, and Hillary has bullied, attacked, shamed, and intimidated his victims. We will discuss this more in the coming days. See you at the debate on Sunday.
Trump's Covfefe tweet was a viral moment in 2017 when he tweeted, "Despite the constant negative press Covfefe," the tweet was likely a typo, with Covfefe being a misspelling of coverage. The tweet sparked numerous jokes and speculation about its meaning. Trump later joked about it, tweeting, "Who can figure out the true meaning of Covfefe? Enjoy."
The president created a real mystery with this tweet that he posted at 12:06 a.m. today. Despite the constant negative press, Covfefe. Everyone's having a blast trying to figure out what he meant.
I think it's Covfefe. There it is.
Okay, Covfefe.
The V
you're
is
right.
silent. Covfefe.
Covfefe, we're going to let you make the call this morning.
It is possible Trump meant to say coverage, but it came out Covfefe. The president seemed to be enjoying the back and forth. At 6:09 a.m., he sent out this tweet. Who can figure out the true meaning of Covfefe? Enjoy.
People who suffer from TDS will most likely get mad at the word Covfefe because it brings back a time of peace, a time when the news media was covering spelling errors from tweets and not covering the wars that are happening around the world because Biden is an incompetent leader. One of the biggest TDS moments is when liberals accused Trump for supporting Nazis and white supremacists during a press conference on August 15, 2017, in the lobby of Trump Tower in Manhattan. During the press conference, President Trump addressed the events that occurred in Charlottesville, Virginia, where a white supremacist rally took place. Trump was simply pointing out that the majority of people from all sides were demonstrating peaceful protests, and a few bad apples from both sides started to fight each other, and that's what led to the death of a woman.
You're putting what you're calling the alt-left and white supremacists on the same moral plane.
I'm not putting anybody on a moral plane. What I'm saying is this. You had a group on one side and you had a group on the other, and they came at each other with clubs, and it was vicious, and it was horrible, and it was a horrible thing to watch. But there is another side. There was a group on this side, you can call them the left, or you've just called them the left, that came violently attacking the other group. So you can say what you want, but that's the way it is.
On both sides, sir? You said there was hatred, there was violence on both sides.
Well, I do think there's blame. Yes, I think there's blame on both sides. You look at both sides. I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either. And if you reported it accurately, you would say.
Neo-Nazis started this. They showed up in Charlottesville. They showed up in Charlottesville to protest.
Excuse me. They didn't put themselves down as neo, and you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides. You had people in that group. Excuse me. I saw the same pictures as you did. You had people in that group that were there to protest the taking down of, to them, a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. George Washington was a slave owner. Was George Washington a slave owner? So will George Washington now lose his status? Are we going to take down, are we going to take down statues to George Washington? How about Thomas Jefferson? What do you think of Thomas Jefferson? You like him? Okay, good. Are we going to take down the statue? Because he was a major slave owner. Now we're going to take down his statue. So you know what? It's fine. You're changing history, you're changing culture, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay? And the press has treated them absolutely unfairly. Now, in the other group also, you had some fine people, but you also had troublemakers, and you see them come with the black outfits and with the helmets and with the baseball bats. You had a lot of bad people in the other group too.
Treated unfairly, sir. I'm sorry. I just didn't understand what you were saying. You were saying the press has treated white nationalists unfairly?
No,
I just didn't understand what you were saying.
No. There were people in that rally, and I looked the night before. If you look, there were people protesting very quietly the taking down of the statue of Robert E. Lee. I'm sure in that group there were some bad ones. The following day it looked like they had some rough, bad people, neo-Nazis, white nationalists, whatever you want to call them. But you had a lot of people in that group that were there to innocently protest and very legally protest because, you know, I don't know if you know, they had a permit. The other group didn't have a permit. So I only tell you this. There are two sides to a story. I thought what took place was a horrible moment for our country, a horrible moment. But there are two sides to the country. Does anybody have a final? Does anybody have? You have an infrastructure.
What makes you think you can get an infrastructure bill? You didn't get help.
This TDS moment was so bad, it motivated Biden to run for office because Biden misunderstood Trump's comments as an evil white supremacist and Nazi supporter. The lie that Trump is a Nazi is still used to this day. President Biden even went on a nationwide Nazi rant in the late summer of 2022, ironically looking like a Nazi with red lights and Marines guarding himself like a dictator. On July 25, 2019, Trump asked Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to investigate his potential rival for the White House in the 2020 election, Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden. Liberals interpreted the phone call as a criminal act. Congress then impeached Trump that December. The Senate held an impeachment hearing early in 2020, and President Trump was found innocent on all charges. Fast forward to 2024, and many Americans are asking why Congress is spending billions of dollars on a losing war in Ukraine. This is a rare TDS moment that liberals gave up on because it's looking like Trump was right about Biden's corruption in Ukraine. When the COVID-19 pandemic broke out in 2020, Trump talked about some type of technology that could wipe out COVID-19. No one really knows what Trump was talking about, but the liberals jumped to a radical conclusion that he was talking about injecting people with bleach. Trump never mentioned bleach in this video clip. To this day, there are liberals who still talk about the bleach statement that never happened.
Supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me.
The biggest TDS moment happened on January 6, 2021, when a riot broke out at the Capitol. The legacy news media and liberals quickly assumed a violent coup attempt was happening, known as an insurrection, an overthrow of a government. This was not the case. The Twitter Files episode that is about Trump's Twitter suspension showed that Trump had nothing to do with the riot and urged his supporters to stay peaceful multiple times before Twitter deleted his evidence of innocence, which led to a second impeachment. Trump was ultimately found innocent again. Trump is the first and only president in American history to be impeached twice. And there is a 99% guarantee that if you look up these celebrities on Twitter, they are ranting about Trump. What makes TDS somewhat funny to normal people is that these Twitter users are completely oblivious to the fact that Trump is living rent-free in their heads. They can't understand why people are laughing at them because the concept of ranting about one man 24/7 is mental. It's a mental illness. George Takei, an actor and activist known for his role in Star Trek, George Takei is a vocal critic of Trump and his policies. Stephen King, the famous horror author, often tweets his disdain for Trump and his administration. Chrissy Teigen, model and TV personality. Chrissy Teigen is known for her outspoken criticism of Trump on Twitter. Mark Hamill, the Star Wars actor, frequently uses his Twitter platform to express his opposition to Trump and his policies. Cher, the iconic singer and actress, is a vocal critic of Trump and his administration, often expressing her views on Twitter. Rob Reiner, the actor and director, has been a prominent critic of Trump on Twitter, often tweeting about the need to resist his policies. Bette Midler, the singer and actress, is another celebrity known for her strong opposition to Trump on Twitter. Alyssa Milano, the actress and activist, is a vocal critic of Trump and his administration, frequently tweeting about her opposition to his policies. John Legend, the singer and songwriter, often uses his Twitter platform to express his views on Trump and his administration. Kathy Griffin, the comedian, is known for her strong opposition to Trump and has faced controversy for her tweets and actions against the former president. The mental illness of TDS runs deep in Hollywood. According to Home Alone 2 director Chris Columbus, Trump bullied his way into the movie by leveraging the fact that they were filming in his hotel. In other words, Trump agreed to let them film at the plaza only if he could make a cameo appearance. Interestingly, Trump's cameo has become a bit of a hot button issue in recent years. Some fans have even started petitions to digitally remove him from the movie, and Macaulay Culkin has expressed support for the idea. TDS is somewhat rooted in fascistic attempts of censorship and the erasing of history. Hollywood celebrities have a weird obsession with Trump because many of these celebrities are highly narcissistic, which means they all believe they were the ones who made Trump famous. Many of these celebrities can't handle the fact that they had nothing to do with Trump's success, and that's the main reason why they hate him. Ann Coulter is a prime example of this TDS narcissism. She keeps reverting back to 2015 when she was the only person who supported Trump's presidential campaign, and because she dumped Trump, she believes no one will support Trump in 2024. The fact of the matter is that millions of Americans supported Trump in 2015 and still support Trump today. In her narcissism, she thinks she's the one in control. She's not. You'll notice this trend over and over again with people who suffer from TDS. Celebrities like Eminem and Jimmy Kimmel have this idea that if they just bash Trump one more time, it will be the downfall of Trump. If they just make one more joke about Trump, it will be the downfall of Trump. The irony is that the harder they fight Trump, the more appealing Trump becomes. MP Lemon has a fantastic rant about Jimmy Kimmel and how toxic he's been for society. In the video, Emp explains that at one point, Trump almost brought peace with North Korea and became the first president in history to step foot in North Korea and shake hands with its dictator, Kim Jong-un, but it wasn't good enough for Jimmy Kimmel. The part that is truly scary about TDS is that it's leading down a path of tyranny. A New York judge decided one day that Trump lied about his Mar-a-Lago mansion's value and decided on a whim that Trump can't do business in New York. The insane thing about this trial is that Trump has no control over his property value. It's the banks that decide what the value is. Ultimately, the conclusion of TDS is a reflection of the human condition, as it highlights our innate desire to belong to a group and to defend our beliefs and values. It also underscores the importance of open dialogue and understanding, as it is only through communication and empathy that we can bridge the divide and find common ground.